Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. Today, we're going to discuss website hosting. In our last video, we discussed registering a domain name, and we want to go one step further with the hosting. And if you don't know what hosting is, it's basically the place where your website files sit so that your website can be displayed on the internet. It's kind of like if you're renting a store, that rent for that particular spot is what your files are on a web server to display your website. So it's kind of your rented place online. So there are various types of hosting, and depending on what you're trying to do, how big your website is or your blog is, and how much traffic you get, definitely determines what kind of hosting you need. And it's really easy just to get a basic hosting service and then upgrade as your business grows or scales. So don't think that the first thing you get, you're stuck with that, because a lot of the services with the web hosting companies, they will basically migrate you to if you upgrade your service, they will migrate you, with, pretty much free most of the time. So you don't have to really worry about that. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing, and you don't have to waste so much time. And even if you go from a shared hosting service and you upgrade to, a VPS or a dedicated server, they will transition you over there for free. So I don't think you need to start out paying, $100 a month for something that you can pay, $5 a month or $10 a month. So let's just dive into some of the different web hosting companies and discuss a little bit about the different kind of web hosting plans that are out there. All right, guys. So I'm Mike Medina, and what we're going to do is dive into website hosting. So website hosting virtually is the space you're renting on a server where your website file sits, so that when someone types in your domain name, it accesses that and populates on your browser. So it's the space online where your website files sit, your store. So there are various types of hosting, and there are various companies that do website hosting. And today I want to talk to you about A2 hosting. So the majority of my websites are on A2 hosting. I've used them for quite some time now. They've got great service, great prices, and you really can't go wrong with these guys. Um, Also, Namecheap.com and Hostwinds.com are definitely also good places where you can get, and you'll see the different specs. So for an average person, if you're just doing a blog or small website for your personal website, maybe even for a small business, definitely want to just go with shared hosting. And you can see the different specs. The differences in the price really deal with the amount of websites you can have, what kind of hard drive and speeds, and you can search the features and everything like that. They're virtually the same. One just the specs is the difference for these different shared hosting. So most website hosting providers are virtually the same as in regards to what they're providing you, minus the different speeds, the different RAM, the amount of websites you can have in space. So just kind of shop around. These are good places to start, and definitely find what works best for you. So you're going to probably more than likely use shared hosting. WordPress hosting is very similar, except that they kind of, since WordPress is so massive in the online community and building websites, that most of these companies nowadays have this option where that you get the hosting, and then WordPress is already installed for you. And I'm going to show you that it's really easy just to do that with any kind of hosting. You have a virtual private server hosting and dedicated hosting. Dedicated hosting basically means that instead, like shared hosting, where you're sitting on shared space on a server, dedicated hosting, that you get your own space and you don't share those resources with other people. And VPS is virtually virtually in between shared hosting and dedicated hosting. You know, you're on your own operating system. You share some of the resources, but not everything like shared hosting. And definitely, I have a breakdown, and I'll put that in the link that Namecheap has in describing exactly what the differences are. But you know, for this video here, we're just talking about the various types and what you're probably going to use, which is share hosting. So once you sign up for, you know, hosting plan, you're basically going to, if you've already registered a domain, you'll select that domain and you'll point it, and then you'll get hosting. When you get that hosting after you check out, you'll run into something that you'll have a dashboard. Everyone is different with, each company is fairly different with what, you know, it's going to look like, but you'll want to look for something that has cPanel. And this is cPanel here. This is where you will install WordPress. So find cPanel, WordPress, and then you'll see it's a little different with the different hosting companies. You know, I'm not gonna you know, create different accounts with all these or log into them, but you'll see something with Delicious or a software installer, and you'll see WordPress. So when you find that, you just jump into WordPress, and then you'll go, the first tab will automatically be populated, and then you'll see this here, and you'll just hit install now, and then you'll type in the domain for the website. And be aware that this, when you do this, it takes a second for the domain and the web files to be created and then propagate so that you can actually access that right away. It just depends on, you know, the internet and how everything's set up. So, you know, HTTP, I highly recommend you just do HTTPS and get an SSL. We'll talk about SSLs in another video. It's basically securing the web browsing aspect of your website. You can do all of this stuff later, except create these admin accounts, which you can basically change at a later time. So I'm going to just type my name here and create this right now so that I can show you. We'll use this. I'm going to just copy this, and I'm going to just put my email address here where it's created. Let me do my Gmail account, and everything else you could just leave. And if you want to send this login information to your Gmail account or whatever account, you definitely can put it here so that you get a reminder and it gives you information, the links and stuff like that. So I'm going to just hit install. And what it's doing is basically dropping the WordPress software onto my hosting server where my website's at. So I'm going to go ahead, and it tells you here, and you'll get an email with this. This is the link. I'm using heartoftexaschurch.com, heartoftexaschurch.com, and WP-admin will be any WordPress site, and this probably will be set up. So you'll jump right into WordPress here once you create that. So I went from the hosting account, cPanel, Delicious apps installer under scripts, and went into WordPress, and then install, and then put all the credentials in and installed, and it built that for me. And this is actually the back end of the website, and I'm just going to open it in a new tab, and this is the front end. So I'm not going to do a WordPress lesson, but this is the default at this time. This is the default theme and what it looks like when you install a fresh copy of WordPress. And this is where you'll manage that stuff. So I just wanted to show you that's how you install WordPress if you're going to be building a WordPress website, which we totally do exclusively. And now let me jump back here real quick also, since we're here. what you also can do is create, a lot of people, they want their own, when they set up their website, they want their own custom email. And in cPanel is where you would set that up. You can create an unlimited amount of emails. I mean, you probably don't want more than 5, but all you do is just come here to under the email tab and hit email accounts. And I just want to show you this real quick, and just hit create. And then you can just do whatever at. So we can just do, I'm going to do Mike at heartoftexaschurch.com. And then you want to create a super hard password. I'll put that one that was in WordPress. You can make this unlimited. You don't have to worry about it. And that's it, really. Hit create. So now you have this email account created, and you can manage the email under cPanel in webmail, or you can get, log into webmail, and you can just use this particular interface to get all your emails. And this is telling me all the information about it. So this is, your email client. Another thing is you can connect devices here. And however, if you want to use Outlook or whatever, here's the settings to set up, whatever email client you have, so that you can basically have, when you get an email, it goes to, your Outlook account or whatever you might have, Thunderbird. So you can set that up. So you can set all those up right in cPanel whenever you get hosting. So the hosting aspect allows you to create email accounts. The thing to be wary about is that this isn't a email platform. This is really handling all of your WordPress emails that you get when it's time to update WordPress or whatever it might be. If you're really doing, email campaigns, email marketing, you definitely want to get something like Mailchimp, so that they can process all of those mass emails, because you can get blacklisted if you're sending out massive emails from an email client like this, or it's not trusted. It's going to be in spam because you're a brand new domain. So you definitely don't want to use it for a massive mass emails and stuff like that. But for small emails and just to get emails from businesses or set up on your forums on your website, you definitely can use this to make your custom emails. And so what I do with emails is I'll create email accounts and then use like the Google Suites and set up my thing so that Gmail is my email a web server to send out the emails, which is trusted when it goes to everyone's inbox. So yeah, that's a little extra nugget there on the email account. But once you set up the web hosting, definitely can do that and install WordPress in cPanel, and then create your email account. And then all you'll need to do is go in here and start building. All right, well, I hope this was helpful. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, and don't forget, I will put the links below that you will need that I talked about, so that you can read up on stuff and compare some of the web hosting services that I use. So if you have any questions, definitely put them in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Okay.